noon right now.
Right now.
Yeah. It's a production. You know what I mean? We're still producing things.
We're streamlined.
Yeah. It's a work in progress. It's a working document. Look at how cool this is. Oh, we got a follower goal thing. I'm sorry. He was not letting us see this until now. But welcome everybody. Welcome back to campaign 2, which is super awesome. Today is our 1-year affiliate anniversary as well. So joyeux anniversaire to the stritches, to the Twitches. We got 401 on followers, I think, right now. So that's pretty fantastic. Welcome in everybody. Adamus out in the moderator universe. Love you, brother. Okay, so before we go around the room, I want to welcome everybody back and thank just a couple companies that help us out. You'll see today some cardboard structures. This is a Kickstarter that just completed from Acid House Terrain. The gentleman is from España, and it's really good quality products for kind of cheap. I got about 3 boxes about this big, and I can fill a village. You see some of the pointy houses? Those are in there as well. I could probably fill my whole garage full of a town for pretty cheap. I'd like to thank RFI Prints for a lot of the stuff that we have here as well. We got most of your stuff painted, Trent, so thank you very much. 3D Egos has been kicking out a lot of painted products for us to help us out to build some Moat and Baileys and things like that. But other than that, I'm going to go around the room, and if you just wave, I'll introduce everybody and then pass off some final comments to Skylar when I reach you last. We got Aaron, who's our Witcher DM. He'll introduce his character when we play. We got Krista's in the middle there, here in our garage wine. And we got JD. He's going to introduce his character. We got Gary from the great state of Tennessee. We got Kara out of Florida. We got Sam out of Florida. We got Nick. I keep wanting to say Henry / Heineken out of Hawaii. Aloha. And we got Judgy. We got Stacks James. He's off camera. He'll be there in a little bit. He was working real hard and just came off like TDY and kind of scooched in. Also in Australia, we've got Lawrence, and he'll be here in a minute. And we got Pete from Bath, and Skylar, over to you if you want to give any closing remarks, and we'll
absolutely. I want to give a big shout out and thanks to everybody for making last campaign awesome. Sam at Splinter Tree has an amazing Etsy store, so go check her out. If you see it in the rotating scroller, you'll see the Splinter Tree. She makes amazing dice. You guys can see this. This is can't really
rock dice. They're really cool.
Yeah, rock dice. She does semi-precious stones.
Pretty fun.
Really awesome stuff. Polish it, like basically she grinds it and polishes it herself, and they're great. So that's them. We got Dungeon Delvers as well. They make some like dice jars for like healing potions, and they make some terrain and some other things but all local Florida people. And right now, as far as the channel goes, this is our Twitch anniversary. So with that, our next goal is to hit 500 followers. And outside of that, if you want to subscribe and want to continue seeing our content, if you think it's great, then would love to have you subscribe. So with that, I will toss it back over to Tim, and we can get into this awesome new game.
Going into Tim Pins. Okay, so we'll start out a little bit for everybody. This is a session 0. It's kind of an administrative / role play session, I think, and keep me in line, Pete. So we're gonna have 2 DMs this campaign since we have a lot of friends and we want to keep this family going. I'll also not inundate DMs with going week after week after week after week with stuff. And I get to finally play Sir Timothy in Faerun, which is fantastic. I love him in Witcher, but I really want to play him with unicorns. So we're gonna go every other week. We're gonna start out today, in a tavern kind of scenario. But what I would like to do is bring up some table rules that we have. Are you okay with that, Pete? Some list of things that we're gonna do. Let's see. Stream of consciousness as I wrote things down. So one thing that I'll start out with is short rests and long rests. I think what we're going to provide or have us do are, if you're going to have a long rest, we're going to use the word standard long rest. Somewhere in a PM or something like that in your group's thread, type the 3 things that you do every long rest. And we'll go through this in our first session. Tim will oil his chainmail, make a meal for everybody, pull security. Not necessarily the same order, but priorities of work stuff. Like, you know, he's gonna make sure everything's safe, he's gonna clean his kit, and he's gonna make a meal for everybody. And then if I want to do anything else, attune to something or whatever, you need to make sure you say that to the DM, right? So everybody will sit down, hey, we're taking a long rest. I want to do standard long rest. Okay, no problem. Those are the things you did. If you don't decide to clean your weapons and things like that over time, we want to add something fun to the scenario. Yeah, your cloak has got holes all in it. You weren't mending your stuff. You're looking tattered. If we want to go down that path, short rest. 2 things probably, right? Make a quick meal. Pull security, something along those lines. Now those are anecdotal, or those are generalities of something to do, but that's what Tim will do until that becomes a failure, and then I'll say, I'd like to change my standard long rest and short rest to X. So think of 3 things for a long rest and 2 things for a short rest. Pass that off to your DMs, and we'll remember that as standard. Let's see. I had the word movement down, and I can't remember why. Bobbling the Goblin. I'll come back to movement, but there was something. I think movement had a lot to. Oh, travel. We're going to do 30 miles a day. Is that what we decided? 30 miles via.
30 miles is a fast pace, 24 miles is a standard pace. And what you got to remember is so basically, no, 30 if you're moving at such a accelerated speed that you might not notice things as much, so you have disadvantage on perceptions and stuff whilst you're moving fast, because you're actually concentrating on moving rather than paying attention to things. So you're more likely to get ambushed and things like that because you're not actually paying attention to things.
Point of order from the other DM.
Do you guys do disadvantage on any perception checks if you're wearing a full helmet or anything like that?
No. Because this is Rainbow Brigade. Because if we did, Tim would cry. Because Tim wears a helmet to bed.
Allow me to show you how this is done for more perception. No perception. Loads of perception. Yeah. I have a prop for that. Yeah. Oops. Not yet. The answer is not yet. But yeah, these will grow. Arrows. The arrows that you have, count them. I'm guessing everybody has 20 bolts, 20 arrows. You need to make a concerted effort to take an action post-combat to, and you could say post-combat, standard thing that I do. If you don't, we're going to roll a percentage die, generally speaking, and say this is how many arrows you have left. Yeah, the golden snitch will be like, ooh, 10% of your arrows survive. You may only have 3 left based on how you shot. So I think I'm going to go with a percentage to see how many arrows you can cleanly pull out of something without taking the extra time while everybody else investigates the room. So range folks will have a little bit, while you're going through dungeons, I'm just going to keep track of arrow counts and things like that. That'll make it a little bit more fun. We're going to slow things down just a tad here. Bonus pots, full pots. So if you're in combat and you take a whole action, you drink a health potion, you get the whole health potion if you take a whole action. That means, and as Pete said, you got all the little juices inside the mouth. You've made a concerted effort not to spill. Same with a partner. If you take an action to pour it down your friend's neck, 100%. If you take a bonus action, you roll. Correct me if I'm wrong, Pete.
Yep.
Okay. Weight is in play now. Coins are in play now. So coin weight, add coin weight. That's just going to be one thing. So yeah, that bag of holding is going to be super lucrative.
Hang on. We're supposed to give them a bag of holding. When did that come up in our rules? We're not doing that. Jeez.
First of all, the army, and we're going to discuss this later, The army has all the bags of holding right now. Yeah. The Lords of Alliance are very Stalin-esque right now. So as they fight Tiamat.
When should we start?
So yeah, just so you know, if you go into the backstory portion, I think you can click in your backstory in the back of when you're managing. I think there's like squalor
on the first on the home screen. It's down near the bottom with encumbrance.
When in doubt, 10. If you get to the point where you're so confused, 10. You sold off a family heirloom to come to Waterdeep or something like that. We're going to continue with episodic leveling. Time is going to be very important and very fun because some people are going to take a two-day trip to Phandalin. Some people are going to take and I don't know the math, Pete, however you want, a one-day trip to Daggerford or to wherever. So that being said, you guys might be a couple weeks ahead or whatever in time. It's up to the DMs to manage all of that. We'll try to keep everybody on track. Oh, here's the spicy one. And this is a hard and fast rule. We're going to have a 10-second count like a referee in basketball. If we're in combat and we have large groups, when it's your turn, you have 10 seconds to have known, like we'll do our best to say who's on deck, but you'll have 10 seconds to make your action or declare what you're going to do. If you're bumbling with a spell or doing whatever, you've lost your action. Someone else will pop in there. You lost your movement. You can do that spell that you decide to do. Does that make sense? Anybody have any? What's up, Gary?
All right.
One thing I've heard for that is if you exceed the time limit you're given, then you automatically take a dodge action. So like if you're trying to figure out what you want to do or whatever, because in combat you're in a hurry.
Yeah.
Shit's happening.
Yeah.
So you just automatically just instinctively dodge.
I think I would like to give the character the at the 10-second point, if they don't know and they're really confused, to be able to have the right to say, I dodge, or I'm holding my action for this spell that I want to do. Does that make sense?
And that's something we can try, and if it works, whichever way works, if it doesn't end up working, apart from this is what obviously Tim's going to get to it, we're going to try a couple of things, not every single one of them is going to work.
Yep.
So bear that in mind. There's going to be the odd stage we go, actually, we'll get together, we'll have a conversation about it. We're all adults. Well, I'm not, but everybody else is an adult. And we can sit there and go, actually, this isn't working for us, or this is working for us, what should we do? So I actually quite like that, Gary. I quite like that, the dodge, but it's how we integrate it and go through. But I quite like don't want to take the advancy away from some of the characters, but it's got to be enough that they actually pay attention.
Does that 10 seconds include explaining the action or spell that
you know what you're gonna do? Like, I'm about to cast Meteor Storm.
I read it. I'm good. You like, do I need to explain to everyone else? Or just saying I'm doing it? And...
Yeah. If we have to declare someone to read the spell, that's not part of it. Like, wait, what are you doing? Like, if you know what you're doing, you're about to do it, and you're prepped, that's fine. This is when you're like,
Let me look what I'm about to do.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, you got 10 seconds.
If we're like, what do you want to do? Like, I think I want to do a range thing. Like, that counts in that. Like, I think I want to cast like 9, 8. Like, what do you want to do? But obviously, it'll be more of a table thing. It'll be more to like how the flow. Because when we were running 9 people in combat, it was 45 minutes a round. If we're running with 3 or 4 people, then we've got, you know what I mean, like more squanch to play with. Okay. Moving on, level prepped. In these first stages of things, be prepped for your next level at the table. So level 2 could happen really fast if, Pete decides to like kill you all on the way to wherever, or us all, because I'll be his guy. So I'll be prepared for what I want as a level 2 paladin, so that when it does happen, I can boop, 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 like get ready and push it in there, so to speak. That being said, go ahead and make the 80% solution on that next character if you're caught off guard. We will let you fix your oath. If you decided you didn't want Oath of Light or Oath of Devotion or something like that, we'll let you. We can be patient with that. Is that okay, Pete?
Yep. As long as you take Oath of Vengeance on every paladin, it's all good.
What'd you get, Colonel? Oh, that's right. You're waiting? I decided I know what I'm doing. Devotion. Bonus passive actions. Okay. So passive perception is going to be a lot more prevalent in this one, in terms of, hey, if you have a high passive perception, I'm going to give you something like, and Pete talked me through this. You feel a wind from a wall next to you. You can ignore me, or you can sit there and now do an investigate or whatever on what that wind was. So the passive perception will be a sight, smell, a tingling, or whatever. It's not a, you found the golden lamp. You know what I mean? Like, you look over, something shiny just saw you over there, like, oh, what is that?
Basically, the way I look at it is perception is intuition. So something, you walk down a room, you go, something's not quite right with on the left-hand side. Something doesn't feel quite right to you. And then investigation is using your intellect and using clues and using various things to find what that actually is. So they are two separate skills. Sometimes there's a quite a big overlap between the two, but try to think of it as intuition, which is wisdom based, which is perception, and then what am I doing with that information and how am I actually trying to do something with it, which is intelligence based, which is investigation. So it's just to understand the two.
Yep. Okay, this is the spicy one that Pete and I were talking about that I don't think we completely hammered down as I'm reading this. Bonus. So if a bonus action, you can take a passive perception in combat. An action is a full check. Okay? If you're in combat and you want to, we'll give you your passive perception in combat. I won't give you your passive perception while you're shooting and concentrating on other things. That makes sense? But if you're shooting, right, and you want to look above your scope like a little bit and see what's behind the target, like no problem, or around you. But otherwise, you got to put it down and like look around and while everybody else is shooting. Okay. So I'm going to be keeping track of treasury. It's 5 gold pieces a 10-day. Okay? For food. That way we knock it out. And then, but everybody's standard, you're eating. Okay? Like you're eating during your long rest. We're just going to assume that you're going to select that. So 5 gold.
Everybody's going with 5 gold pieces versus the.
Everybody.
Okay, gotcha.
Everybody's got 5 gold pieces a 10-day.
Even the robot, even the robot needs oil for joints.
Yeah.
Nice try.
Yeah. Linseed oil.
Well, no, it was more. I was thinking more of the difference between like your standard of living, X gold per day, sort of thing.
You're all adventurers.
I mean,
you all need energy. You all need energy to do this.
Right.
You need to have some food.
Sure.
You have your starting money on you, but beyond that, you have no job anymore other than this one. Like you don't get 10 gold pieces a month from your you know what I mean?
Like your standard of like how you live, like whether it's squalid or
Like modest 1 GP.
Yeah.
1 GP a day.
Oh, if you want to add a minimum to survive, at a minimum 5 gold pieces.
Okay, gotcha.
If you want to stay fancy, add that into your standard.
Okay.
I want my kit to look fantastic every time I do it. So I want 10 gold pieces. That's fine, but 5 to live. Right? That's and we'll go in there almost every session and be like, hey, we're at 10-day. Everybody reduce 5 gold pieces.
Are you guys?
You can also do one thing in your long rest. You can forage.
Gary, what was that? Sorry.
Are you guys gonna kind of roll that into the RP, like when you walk into a town? If everybody's all scroungy looking and all haggard, then they get treated different than somebody that's all,
Yes, we're going to try to do that, but yeah, it depends if we. Yes, I would like to do that. That'll be a charisma thing, right? Depending on where you're at. On that note, you can forage. Okay. So if you make a specific thing like I'm out of money, I need to forage, that will cost you standard things in your rest. Does that make sense? So you're in the desert, cool, you foraged, you rolled a lizard and a cactus, you snapped it and there was some water in there or something like that. Does that make sense? Does that make sense, Pete?
Yep, and that'll be generally for those sort of things, it's survival checks. So just to let you know, there's a specific skill for that, which is survival. So if you haven't got it, oh well.
Yeah, good question. And now, other than that, I think those are any house rules. Anybody have any house rules that they would like?
I have one. I have one to add to this, just because of it's me and Tim.
I'm editing.
We are obviously players in the other side. They are not DMPCs. This is not. I am not in Tim's game as a leader, as a thing. I am playing Puent, my character. He is not getting any advantages. He's not getting any insight. He's not doing stuff. There's going to be stuff that he does. It doesn't actually work. It's not a traditional. Generally speaking, when you play this sort of game, you do not want to have a DMPC because they generally don't work out particularly well because it just falls apart. We're doing this specifically so we can keep the group together and have two sets of groups. Also gives Tim the chance to play and myself the chance to play. But do not, or try not to, think that if I'm playing in Tim's game, look to me for the answers. My character will not know them. Guaranteed.
It is a fact. He hasn't read Icefire Peak, and I have not read the first chapter of Storm King's Thunder. So
there's stuff like that. So we don't actually do it. And the only thing that I will be perfectly upfront and honest with on this, Tim is running the board. He is running the maps. He is running the miniatures. So there is a little bit of thing that he'll know what type of miniatures are coming up because he needs to get them ready. But how they're going to be used and what they're going to be done, he has no idea. So there's no favoritism on this. And to be honest, I'm expecting to get negative favoritism because it's me. Because it's the way it works. It's if there's lava or anything like that, I may end up in it.
Love-hate relationship.
Everything you want is lava.
Yeah, I'm used to this stuff. That's why. Why do you think I chose Cleric of the Forge? At higher levels, I get immune to fire, so he can't chuck me in lava. That's the whole thing.
You also get to make a magical item every morning, but that's not that big of a deal.
No, leave my magical items alone.
Rolling a 20 on skill checks and everything like that. Are you guys are you guys kind of like adopting the rule of cool where a 20 acts as a critical on skill checks, or is it's a 20 plus whatever you have, and then you guys are judging?
There's no criticals on skill checks. However, if you do roll a 20, there may be some additional flourish that is added. But it does mean that the reason for that is if you've never picked up a smith's tools in your life and you roll a d20 and you get 20, you are not making that plate mail. That's just not happening. But you get the.
You're really confident about it. You're like, yeah. It's a big plate mail. That's simple.
So those sort of things. It's the same sort of things as the classic. You've got a horny bard. Because everyone plays horny bard, it's got to happen. And you go, I'm going to seduce the king. I roll a d20, I get 20 on my persuasion check. What that generally happens is the
dragon.
Yeah. What generally happens on that case is the king finds your attempt funny and doesn't behead you. Because the best possible solution. It doesn't mean you automatically seduce him because you rolled that 5% chance.
Yep.
Yeah. I thought that was very, very poignant because he was like, yeah, it's the horny bard. I'm playing a bard.
Yep.
It was aimed directly at you, Aaron. That's what it was.
Yeah, thanks.
Are we doing player recaps?
Yep. And the start of each session, the DM will say roll high or roll low, and on the d20, you all roll a d20. Whoever gets the highest or gets the lowest gets to recap the previous session. The best thing about this is if you did well, it's only a 5-minute recap. It's not going into huge detail. It's just like the poignant points.
Yeah.
If you do well, the DM will be rewarding you with inspiration because it'll actually be going to be inspiration.
Extemporaneous recap. That's not going to go well for me or anybody else at this table. I don't know. They did some stuff. Somebody fucked around and found out.
Perfect. Yeah.
So
it gets the flow going.
And also,
more than one paladin on a crit.
Oh.
You didn't previously say you were going to smite. If you crit, can you now smite and also incorporate that into your check?
Okay. Basically, what we're doing on that is because of the rule that we have about our damage. It's the same rules we had for the last campaign. That it's all dice is maxed plus roll.
Correct.
Smite is one of these unusual ones that completely breaks that system. because it means that as soon as you crit, you go, I roll double smite,
Now I
basically.
wish Smite.
Yeah. Oh wow! Why would you not do that? So on smite, it's the one that you do have to call before you use it if you want it to class as a crit damage, because otherwise it is. I've come to and fro on this one because it's one of those classic ones where it seems a bit unfair to the paladin players to say that because everybody else doesn't have to do it, but because of the power it gives them for that one crit.
One-off pants that I may use up stuff up.
Yeah. I love the fact that everybody's wearing blue today. This is fantastic. I just like look around. I just in there. Yeah, there's a lot of blue in the and by everybody. 10%. No,
Weird ass people.
blue jeans, blue eyes. You know what I mean? Like whatever. I noticed things about you.
Sorry, what was that, Gary?
What for the paladin? If they crit and they decide to smite after, maybe they just roll twice instead of automatically getting max on their smite.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, Gary.
What do you say?
Actually, I think that's a really good idea, Gary.
You make an opinion about paladins first of all.
Gary, keep coming, Gary.
Colonizer. Yeah.
Basically, what he's saying is, if you don't call smite beforehand, and you crit, instead of maxing the smite damage, you just roll the damage twice.
How you guys roll crits too?
Okay, so we get it in a second try to try to.
No, it's like, so say for instance it was like 5d8 was your smite damage. If you had called it beforehand, you'd get 40 damage plus 5d8. Whereas if you don't call it beforehand, you just say, okay, I am going to smite this one. You roll 10d8.
Okay. Okay, so we get to roll twice.
Yeah, but you just
We
don't
don't
get the max. You just don't get the max damage on the smite.
Approved. Thank you, Gary. Sir Gary, knighted in paladins. You're an honorary.
Honorary paladin.
We just get that. You should roll it twice, but we get the damage full, but then the smite doesn't get full max. Yes.
Yeah, I like that. Is that everybody okay with that one? Because it will mean that if there's paladins against you, they get to do the same. Because rules for players also have.
Paladin. Warduke exists. Huh?
But
Okay.
Warduke never rolls d20 anyway, so it's fine.
It's true.
Thanks for the resub, Poison. That's awesome. That's 3 months.
Hi,
Congrats.
Poison. Thank you, buddy. Appreciate the sub. Well, shall we begin?
Before we do that, has anybody got any other questions?
Oh yeah.
So-
We're going around the room.
So during the long rest, you're limited to 3 actions?
So we'll talk
What
about
is
it.
the limit for that?
It just depends. Like things that can be reasonably done in that 8-hour time period to get your 4 to 6 hours of sleep. You know what I mean? And 2 hours of patrolling or whatever. So I'm guessing a good long rest is at least 6 hours of sleep. You know, something like that. But we can talk about it. But just the beginning, like 3 things, meaning you're gonna eat. You have to eat. So if everybody has to eat, we can drop that one. What's the other 3 things you want to do? I'm gonna pray. I'm gonna pull security, and I'm gonna, you know what I mean? Do whatever. What was the other one? Clean my equipment. That make sense?
Yep.
So if you're not playing and you're a paladin, you're a cleric and you're not playing, you're praying often. Like I'm a know that. You know what I mean? Like if you're not.
Paladins aren't religious in 5th Ed, remember? It's an oath.
No, we still pray. It's and my Faerun, you're gonna have to, you know what I mean? Like you'll have to pay homage to whatever oath it is. You know what I mean? Like whatever. I'm angry about vengeance, and you have to stew about something. yeah. But my character is using Smite from Tyr, so in my role play, I want to make sure that I'm, you know, reflecting on justice and balance and things like that. Anyways.
All you got to do is think of the paladin from the D&D movie. That is Sir Timothy.
Very straight lines.
Is he gonna go?
Follow me to the orifice.
Is he gonna go around? No, he's gonna walk. Okay.
That dude was kind of like being Drax at the same time. I don't know if I want to be like Drax in terms of that, but well,
That's how I envisage you. That's how I envisage Tim playing it.
Gary, what's up?
Are we gonna be keeping track of food? Because I had the same rations through the whole campaign last time.
Yes, we are.
Okay.
They're easy. They last forever.
So so you
always have berries for you.
Yep. So 5 gold pieces worth of rations, whatever it is, it's rations that depletes over a 10-day, right? And it doesn't matter how much you ate. You were more hungry on one day than the other. Those rations are gone at X day. If you want to go, like, I'm in Daggerford. Before I travel to X, I want to buy 4 10 days worth of rations. Sure, we'll add that way to it. Does that make sense? And then you're covered for whatever. And then when we have the discussions in pregame, we're like, did you buy stuff or whatever, or in chat. Make sense? Maybe we'll have a logistics chat.
And as we said, if there's anything that does come out that's a little bit weird, a little bit doesn't quite flow properly, at the table the DM's word is law for that session, just to go, this is what we're doing, just to keep it moving. However, we are humans, we will make mistakes, and I will make lots of them. IM us, go through things, and we'll probably just say we'll never retrospectively do something unless it's like massively important. But it'll be from this point, we'll say it on stream, from this point onwards, this will happen. Because otherwise, trying to retrospectively fix a load of stuff is an absolute nightmare, depending on what it is. But we will fess up, put your hand up and go, this happened last session, it's not going to happen again, we'll try this way now. So we'll correct things that way. It's very hard to retrospectively, unless it's a TPK, then that may be retrospectively if that's my fault. I get that. But otherwise, we'll go.
Try not to bring up the monster that we're using against you, or try not to. How did that hit me? Or something like that. If it didn't, and it didn't, we'll talk about it next week, and we will. The universe will balance itself out. Try to just blow through it.
And the other key thing on this is what Tim said. I'm not sure he might add this in his prologue. Is yes, this is Storm King's Thunder. Yes, people know this is about giants. People know it's about giants.
That was gonna be my last thing.
However, all of our characters currently in here, we know what giants are. We know they're big, they're scary, and there's different types. We are level 1 adventurers. None of us has done Sage. None of us has picked Sage. None of us has said we're a historian on all of the giant fold and all the giant kin and all the giant types. So when we're playing this and people go, oh, it's that type of giant, they might be, you don't know that. Your character does not know this yet. You will learn all about giants in this campaign if you survive past level 3. But your character will learn this. But you personally, like for instance, I probably know most of the stats of most of the giants off the top of my head. Pwent doesn't know that. So I will try my best to not...
They're big. What I got.
Am I the only one that just found out Storm King's Thunder was about giants?
You're doing great. Somebody's
you guys.
Because I'm a low intelligence character and I can just be as dumb as my character because I don't know anything.
I thought it was about Santa Claus.
It's when you see the Storm King's Thunder one and there's a big giant on the front of it, like, oh, right. So just let you know, just to say, it's that classic thing of, and also I will add it to my side of things. As everyone knows from my one shot, I generally don't keep my monsters vanilla. They generally have strange and weird and wonderful things happen to them. So, for instance, you probably won't be fighting standard trolls that you need to use fire to stop them regenerating. You have to find different ways of doing things. So there's going to be fun.
The region he's going to, you're going to see very much, you know what I mean, classic 5e monsters with me. I like it. But anyways, there will be subtle differences or whatever, but Storm and Norman will form and we'll cogs ladder until 3 years later from now. There's like 4 or 5 other random people on the screen that we don't even know about yet. But are we ready? Let's play Storm King's Thunder. Prologue. Read by Edward Bavine. I'm just kidding. That's an R.A. Salvatore thing. The world has been ripped apart by Tiamat and her monstrous progeny. Loved ones have made the ultimate sacrifice to ensure that Faerun endures. But hope flickers in the form of a fellowship of heroes, Stronghold, who have rallied the most powerful and influential beings to vanquish the Dragon Queen once and for all. As they journey to the fabled Well of Dragons to decide the fate of the realm, you gaze upon them with a mixture of admiration and pride. You each have your own reason for being in Waterdeep. However, you know that you must become a stronger, more seasoned adventurer in order to answer the call of destiny when it comes knocking. You arrived in Waterdeep just as the armies of the realm set forth on their perilous quest. Perhaps here, amidst the bustling streets and shadowy alleys, that was a tough one, you find a way to contribute to the fight against the forces of darkness. Picture yourself in Faerun, as you guys have played for the past 3 years, in a very rich spring moment. We're starting out as if you arrived or you grew up in Waterdeep, the cherry blossoms or the goblin blossoms or whatever in Faerun are in full bloom. Things are positive, except for the streets are just the trudge of rows, battalions, brigades, corps, mind you, of armies moving south from Neverwinter, south from the Mithril Halls, the Felbar's brigades being led by the Stronghold generals of the past. The streets are jam-packed in Waterdeep, just being raided to fill the logistics of the army to fight off the end of the world in Waterdeep. And I will pass over to DMP.
Okay. As you are looking around Waterdeep, a chill comes over you. It's not the place that you remember it. This is downtrodden. It used to be bustling streets. There's entertainers on corners. There was anything. None of that exists so far currently in Waterdeep. Everybody is anticipating what's going to happen when the armies go down south. They're hoping for the best and preparing for the worst. The shops are all shut. All their goods have been taken. You have been left in Waterdeep. Armies have gone. The vibe, the spirit of Waterdeep is not quite what it used to be. However, during the next few days, you are looking around to see what you can do to be honest, a lot of this is, what can you do to make yourselves better? Is there anything I can do? I need some money. Everybody needs money. What can we do? You come across a notice board. And on the notice board, where normally there's a plethora of different types of jobs, there's always some rats in someone's sewers that you need to get hold of, but not this time. There's only one solitary note on the notice board, and it says, "An opportunity of a lifetime awaits. The Church of Tyr, backed by the mighty Lord's Alliance, is seeking a team of daring souls to embark on an important quest. Your skills and bravery are required, and your services will not go unrewarded. This is no ordinary quest. The details will only be revealed by those who are successful in their application. But one thing is certain. It will be a journey filled with peril, adventure, and excitement beyond your wildest dreams. So, please, gather your courage. Come to the Drunken Duck at 10 a.m. on Tyr Day, which is tomorrow, by the way. But beware, the competition will be fierce, and only the select few will have the honor of joining this mission. Will you answer the call to join this noble cause? The future fate of the realm may rest in your hands." You take this time to sort of read this post. You've seen lots of people, lots of all different races, genders, and obviously, let's say, professions. Some have ink on their sleeves, some have fire and smell a bit of brimstone. Other ones are keeping to the shadows and not really paying attention. Yeah, or so they believe. You, upon reading this, you decide that, hey, there's no other jobs around, and to be honest, you're running out of money and you need to eat. So minor base ability, I want food, I need to keep going, and also it might do the world some good. So you arrive at the Drunken Duck, 10 a.m. You get there a little bit before, because you always want to be a little bit on time. However, in front of you is a queue of about 60 people. Looking down the line, you are seeing people from all ages, all nationalities. You see people from Camersham, you see people from Luskin, you see people from Daggerford. Well, you think he's from Daggerford, he's got a bit of corn in his mouth. You don't really know. He must be some type of farmer from somewhere. But he's there, he's here. We don't know what's going to happen. When you approach the Dunkin' Duck and this massive queue in front of you, you sense the excitement, the anticipation emanating from the queue. And there's lots of talking about, well, what do you reckon is going to happen? What's this? What's going to happen? However, looking at this, you reckon some of the front must have even stayed up overnight. Hey, why would you do that? It's the front of a queue. Don't get it myself. However, as you wait, you hear raucous sounds echo from within the tavern, a cacophony of muffled shouts, explosions, clashing of weapons. Makes no sense what's happening inside that tavern. You notice that they're bringing in groups of around 12 to 15 at a time. After about 20-25 minutes, they all are ushered out the side door. You hear them, they're not particularly happy with how things have gone. But you don't know if anyone's been successful yet. You wonder what sort of trials awaits you inside. Soon enough, the last group of adventurers, including yourself, are ushered in. Upon crossing the threshold, you're no stranger to the Drunken Duck. To be honest, it's the best place to drink in Waterdeep. You've been here a couple of times. It's always been quite a boisterous, quite an interesting place. However, it's all been cleared. There's 2 tables at the end, and at the end there's a human in full plate armor. Well, he says it's full plate, but it's scale. But he tries to say it's full plate. It's scale mail. and to the right hand side, a smaller, more, let's just say, scruffy dwarf sat at the table. Their expressions are dour and unimpressed. They introduce themselves as, so Tim introduces himself as Sir Timothy, and I introduce myself as Pwent. And they say that we have been tasked in identifying suitable candidates for this mission. Pwent, a gruff and seasoned dwarf, wastes no time in grilling the first contender. A creature steps forward, pulls down his hood, and you recognize him as a Shadow Kai named Revolution. Pwent goes, why? Why should we pick you? Come on, what do you bring to the table? Revolution looks around, disappears, appears behind a mannequin, tries to attack it with a dagger, and it falls out of his hand and clatters across the floor. He looks up with quite a depressed look, and Pwent goes, so, what do you bring to the table? Come on, tell me. He goes, well, no. And he just turns around and walks out. Pretty one-dimensional character that you shouldn't use in the campaign, basically. Just to, if anyone gets the joke.
His name was Meta.
Pwent scoffs, dismisses Revolution with a wave of his hand and goes, next! He barks, clearly unimpressed. It seems that only the best of the best will earn a place in this quest, and to be honest, that guy wasn't it. So, hand over to Tim.
The next candidate to step forward is a headstrong, noble orc wizard. Adorned in expensive robes and carrying a staff adorned with gemstones, he looks around the room with an air of disdain, clearly believing that this recruitment process is beneath him. Why do you think you deserve to be in this quest?
Well, I'm a master of the arcane arts, can you not see? Years of experience and countless successful missions underneath my belt. I hardly see the need to prove myself to the likes of you.
Despite his impressive words, the wizard fails to back them up with any practical demonstrations of his skills. Leaving the judges unimpressed, Timothy shakes his head and says, I'm sorry, but we require more than just words. We need individuals who can prove their worth in combat and in action. As I flick my wrist and ask him to leave, and one of the guards taps him on the shoulder and walks him out. The wizard turns around, sees the dummy, with a flick of his wrist, shoots a fireball, and blows off the top of the head of this thing. I look over at Puent, nod. Okay. What do you do if you discover that one of your fellow party members is involved in an unethical or malicious behavior while on an adventure?
The noble looks down and goes, do I make money from it?
Potentially.
Well, make more money then.
Next.
And he storms off.
Alrighty. Over to Puent.
Yep. The next adventure.
Yeah.
The next adventure steps forward is a gregarious, roguish halfling with a wild smile and quick wit. He introduces himself as Lucky Jack. I'm a rogue and I'm a skilled acrobat. However, again, like the previous two, when asked to demonstrate his abilities, Lucky Jack becomes a little bit overconfident and reckless. He attempts to perform a daring flip over one of the training dummies and misjudges his footing, crashing to the ground and sending the dummy flying after him. Puent looks at him, shakes his head and goes, okay, right. Imagine you come across a village. There's a powerful villain hiding amongst the innocent villagers. What steps would you do to capture and defeat them whilst minimizing harm to the villagers? How would you do this?
That's pretty easy. Probably sneak in. I procure some poison, maybe poison the well. Maybe leave for a little bit when I see people.
Right, just stop, get out. Just leave. I'm not dealing with people like you. Jesus, what do they... Puent turns to Tim and goes, if they're all like this, we might as well get rid of all of them. Waste of time. Waste of time. Every single one.
Out, looks at the party, looks over maybe the three of you guys, gives you a wink, tosses you a wooden coin, and leaves. It looks different.
Right.
Yeah.
So, this... I have no idea. This better be good. Right. Who's first? Who's the next? Who's next in line?
Maybe we'll try this something different, Puent. Let's try this a little bit differently. As he sees a tall, strong woman before him. Let's try this a little different. Tell us your name and what skills you have, followed by maybe a demonstration of one of them. If you get past that, I want to know why you want to join this illustrious band of adventurers and what drives you, and we'll go through that.
And on
so
that
basically,
note,
what I'm saying for just describe an action or something like that, and we'll go through it.
And on that note, just because it was one of the reasons why we've got everyone in the room together, if you could just describe your character very smallly, just a few little things, just so people recognize you. So we didn't need to do that with the other three because they weren't going to make the cut because they're not good enough.
Yeah. We relax our posture. We're not trying to look like a-holes either, but we are, you know what I mean, just asking some. So he looks at the barbarian, at Kara. He's like, please, step forward. Can you just tell me a little bit about yourself? And maybe, I don't know, he kind of points, he looks at, your striation in your arms and legs, and, points at your weapon and points at the dummy off to your right.
All right. Good morning. I'm Zora, and I'm a circus strong woman, but I'm also really, really strong woman. And she kind of she kind of goes and walks up to whatever table they're sitting at, which I'm assuming is large, heavy wooden, tavern type table, and basically just starts kind of to deadlift the table up. And, like this is a good, probably 225, we'll say a nice light deadlift for her, right? And sort of settles it back down and kind of like looks at him in anticipation, like, was that good? Do you need more? And I guess with probably rather stoic expressions on their face, you see this woman and she's about 6 feet tall, looks like a female bodybuilder, right? So lean, cut down, lean kind of look, big rounded shoulders, and she's got this axe strapped to her back, but like long brown hair. She's kind of pretty in a I could crush you between my thighs kind of way if you're into that. And that got a reaction. And so she reaches over and grabs like one of the pewter mugs and just starts squeezing. And then sets it back down, and I don't know if you want me to go through a whole like
no. Yeah,
but like leave some fingerprints in there, right? Like this is
as you do that, Trent goes, "You're lucky there was no beer left in that."
I checked first. I'm not that bad. Right.
Okay. Maybe I'll ask her. Maybe I ask her a question, and you ask the next question. Point. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
For the next
sounds
person?
good.
Okay. So what action do you take to protect yourself and your party from the influence of dark magic, spells, and curses?
There's magic? I think I protect myself because I'm too dumb to see it. Too dumb to learn it.
Okay.
I can barely read.
Dark magic. Is it off-putting?
Yeah, it's gonna feel a little funky, like a little weird, like that tickle in the back of the head, right? Like you get kind of that. I don't know. I'm gonna go find somebody that's smarter than me and have them ask them what to do.
Brilliant. Okay. Why don't you go sit at the table over there, and my friend Bethany will get you a pint and maybe some bread. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thanks.
All right. Next, it looks like Blandina's coming in next.
Nice. So
Where's my
Trent
wig?
turns the blend window and goes, "You better be better than the last wizard."
What did the last wizard do?
You saw him.
Oh, that guy. Yeah, he was pretty sad, wasn't he?
Yeah. So, sorry.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, describe what. So, what can you do?
Well, I immediately cast Disguise Self, and I turn into you. I go, I don't know. What can you do?
I look better than that.
This is how I see you.
I kind of wink like.
I go, yeah, but I smell properly. You don't.
I can work on that.
Yeah. Anything else you can do except for parlor tricks?
I'm a wizard of the enchantments, so I could. Let's see. I attempt to cast Charm Person on you. Right. I'm gonna cast Charm Person on Tim, Sir Timothy. It's like, watch this. And I cast.
That make me more charming.
I cast Charm Person on.
I think she's hired. She seems fantastic. Sign her up.
God, can you keep that spell? It makes him so much better to talk to. Keep that spell handy. So, question for you. You, when presented with an opportunity for personal gain or profit that may come at the expense of innocent lives, how do you make that decision?
I would never take an innocent life. That's not part of my code. I would never do that.
Well,
That's as simple as
I
that.
turn to the one that's charmed and go, "It's quite good, this one."
I think she's beautiful. What?
I slapped him.
right in my chainmail, not my scale mail. You'd think you'd know that as a dwarf, but no big deal.
Right, go and join the barbarian at the back.
Yep, I
I
forgot.
walk back there. It's like, well, you're very big.
Thank you. I know.
I never
Say
described. I never described Blandina. So Blandina is very. She's a high elf with long blonde hair. She's wearing a blue bodice and skirt. You'd never know that she was a wizard or a noble, but she carries herself as though she's a noble. So that's.
Thanks, Either Feather, for the sub.
So there you go. That is Blandina.
Nice. Who's next
Got a
on
nice
the list?
spell book. Who's up? We got it looks like a gnome. Looks like a dark gnome coming in. Interesting. I'll take this one. Hey, big guy, how are you?
Oh, I'm okay.
Oh, okay.
I'm good.
Oh,
How
we're
are you?
doing the other dark gnome. This is Gary.
Oh.
This is Gary, I think.
Gary's a gnome too?
Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry, didn't mean to insult you. I call everybody big guy. My bad. So, tell me a little bit about yourself. What's your skills, noble sir?
I'm pretty good with a crossbow, and I'm pretty good with a dagger. I'm not here to make friends. I'm here because I've made some mistakes, and I want to do better. And I need people that are strong enough to help me along my quest.
Hey, sound like a raccoon I know that flies in space. You think you could shoot this thing and throw a dagger at it? I just want to see what you got, right? You know?
Yeah, so he'll throw a dagger, and then as the dagger's flying, he'll pull his crossbow and shoot the dummy.
Oof, that's pretty impressive. Did you see what the other guys were doing? That's what we're looking for. At least you can hit. Do you mind if I ask you a question?
If you have to.
Like it. Man, a few words. I appreciate that. How do you handle situations where members of the party disagree on the morality of a particular course of action or decision? What would you do? Say, they're gonna steal from people who need it, right? Like you see like they need money, but maybe there's a family that doesn't look like they're well off, and somebody in the group may have cut their purse and taken that for the betterment of the group. What would you do in a situation like that?
You're saying they took money from somebody that needed it for our own benefit?
Yeah.
I would make sure that they get that money back. Money is one of the biggest flaws with this world. It's a crutch.
Whoa. I looks over at. Okay. Well, hey, it's great to meet you. What's your name, sir?
My name's Noynek.
Noynek. Okay, now I know how to pronounce it. All right, yeah. I was like, yeah. All right, Noynek. There's two women sitting at the large picnic table over there. Why don't you have a seat, and one of my friends are gonna bring you a meal on the house. Is that okay? And then we'll talk to you in a minute.
As you're talking, he just kind of walks off, and he's gonna sit.
Okay, yeah, you leave me hanging.
Yeah.
Oh, we're gonna get along real good. Yeah. All right, over to you, Punt. Who's up? Looks like a robot of some sort. Look at this. Looks like some sort of tiny robot. He's cute.
Just if
I look. Yeah, go on.
is that me or is that somebody else?
Bonk, oink, oink, crunk, bonk. It's you.
Bork.
It's your
Bork.
gnome. Bork. Bork. Yeah.
Sister Gariel is coming in with me.
Bork.
Sister Gariel is Sister Gariel is coming in with me.
Oh, okay. Okay. Lady Gariel.
Lady
Yeah.
Gariel.
Yeah. Yep. She. We don't have a mini for her. He just. Yeah.
Okay, so as I look up, as Point looks up, he sees this little automaton of sorts, and sees that Lady Gladriel's next to her. So, what brings you here?
Lady Gariel. It's like Lady Gariel looks down at Bork and says, "It's like, well, I'm vouching for this little automaton who is a bard. He has been in my stead for the last several weeks. I picked him up, and he tells me that he was created to keep track of the history, to be a companion, to a group of adventurers, or to a group. And I figured, I knew that this adventure party was coming up. I figured he'd be a great addition to your group, as a companion and as a way to keep track of the history.
Well, I appreciate your introduction. However, can he talk for himself?
Absolutely, Bork. Hello, Bork. so, hello, I am Bork, and you see a very hipster-looking. Actually, no, sorry. You see just a cobbling of metal and piping and whatnot, and but he's got a very friendly demeanor. He's very short in stature, but he's very happy to be here.
I don't think I've ever seen one of your kind before, but thank you. Very nice to meet you. And you said you so what can you bring to the party? Obviously, you can sing.
No, I can sing. I can make all kinds of music, and but we can get to that. My big thing is I can help to cure things. I can inspire you to do great things. But I can also do some other. I can also, trick enemies into, I don't know, possibly laughing themselves to the ground.
Oh. Well,
Bet you can't make me laugh.
I cast Tasha's hideous laughter.
Okay, yeah. And I just start like freaking out.
I go, that's great. Can you turn him off now? That laughter is getting
Absolutely.
Tim, look, you guys, if you get to know Tim, he doesn't laugh that much. That was completely out of character, right?
And I'm not even a burden on any other person because I can heal myself.
Wow, it's always useful to have people that can heal.
Me too.
Can you show us some of your skills? You've obviously just done you made this the paladin laugh, which, to be fair, he needed it. He really did. But
additionally,
how about this? I bring in a person from one of the other trials, sort of like flipped over and sort of sprained his ankle a bit. He hobbles in and go, "Can you fix that?"
Sure. I walk up to him and I go, he's just like, and I lay my hands on his ankle and I cast a cure wounds, and
he sort of goes,
"Oh."
He goes, "Oh, that's amazing. Thank you. And he wanders off. And I go, "Right, your question for you now. Everyone has to have a question."
I'll gladly answer.
If you found a powerful magical artifact that could be used any way you wanted to use it, how would you decide you wanted to use it? How would you use it?
I would use it the best way that benefits the group.
I like him.
Yeah. He's definitely better. He's definitely better than that Shadow Kai that we kicked out of here. God. Right. That's it. Go to the back of the room with the.
Cutie. He's coming with me.
Go and talk. Go to the back of the room. The two ladies and the gnome.
Or you can just hang out with us. You can sit right here.
Free move. Free food. I know you might not. Do you need to eat?
I don't. But if you have some oils, I could possibly use a little oil up.
I've
also been trained in the arts of a barista. So if you know of shell bucks, I know how to make shell bucks.
Next one down the street.
And I turn around to Lady Gariel. I go, "Thanks for the opportunity," and turn
Nice
around.
meeting you, Lady Gariel. Sure, we'll meet again. Oddly enough.
Thank you very much. And I'll point over to Tim and go, yours next.
Next, looks like a woman holding a staff with some flowers on it. Should be interesting. Hello. Welcome. Go ahead. What's your name?
My name's Moriana.
Oriana. It's a pleasure to meet you. So we've been asking everybody here, maybe they can describe a little bit about themselves, and we got a dummy over here. If you're a barbarian, want to chop its head off, or if you're a healer or a spellcaster or such, just put on a display of something that you could do that would provide a party or to help a quest.
Around to see if there's anybody that's like injured, like have a scratch or something.
Yes. Yep. There's a dude over like in the side that we tried to kick out of the bar. He's just like still like leaning over. Just he looks pretty passed out. His HP's down from a lot of Coors Lights.
It says, "I'm at one with nature, and I can also heal my friends."
Looks like a better healer. I mean, a healer. What? That's fantastic.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. All right. So you got some healing powers, and okay. Let's see. Maybe we can ask you a question. Are you highlighting? Are you highlighting the question that is next?
No,
I'm just there. Okay. This is a very interactive document, and you've been jumping around on this thing. He's way better at what are these like word? What are these documents? Anyways, Google Docs. Yeah, it's jumping all over the place. What would you do if you're? Oh no, not that one. Definitely not. Where was it? Where were we going? We jumped.
Just going through scroll.
Oh.
We have prepared lots of stuff. Promise, guys.
Okay. What would you do if your party member or one of your friends, and he kind of points into the crowd, suggests using torture or other morally questionable other questionable things of morality to force a decision on somebody that you may or may not have captured or are interrogating?
Normally, I support the ones that I am around because I take them in as family. It would depend on the circumstance and how bad we needed that information.
Okay. All right. So, interesting. Let's say it's not that important.
Oh, well,
Yeah. Could you describe a this is interesting. This is going down a dark path. Yeah. I feel like you've tortured people. Okay. So, as he takes his mace and starts like
Good.
so describe one of these events where torture is okay.
It's an enemy.
Okay.
But
Maybe
not-
twist the wrist behind their back. Yeah. Interesting. Okay. He kind of looks over at Puent.
Puent goes, she looks like she's nature's her thing. And to be honest, nature can sometimes be cruel when you see it from the outside. However, sometimes things do need to happen.
I kind of
So her morality, I suppose, morality is different for each person. And to be honest, if the falcon eats a rat, do you feel sorry for the rat? Do you say the falcon's been evil? No, he's just fulfilling his basic instincts.
Okay. Kind of whispers over to Puent. You kind of hear. You'd be like, I'll keep an eye on her. All right. Have a seat over there. And one of our friends Bethany from behind the bar. I don't know where that name came from in my mind. We'll get you an ale or water or some bread, and we'll meet you guys in a minute. Thank you.
Okay, who's next?
Torture.
It's like,
Oh, okay. Ching, ching, ching. I like him already. You hear. I thought I'm not Sir Tim. I thought I'm just Tim, but I appreciate the sir if I get to start out with that.
I'm just being. It's being nice to you.
Oh, okay. Haven't been nice. Copy. I like this guy. I feel a good vibe.
Before you all say anything, walking in and seeing the lack of individuals walk out and being cautious and casting divine sense to see essentially good or evil in here, because I mean, I'm from the Underdark and walking into an unfamiliar situation, trying to gain the sense of the room as I walk in.
Everybody that I'm aware of is either neutral or good. So there's no one that is going glowing red that you can look at and go, I must kill them.
Very good.
Halfling though, from behind you, was not chill. He was not chill. He was pretty evil.
Okay.
Dude that flipped you a coin?
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Oh, over to you,
So,
bud. I think I'm an automatic hire in this situation, just so you know.
I'm like, look, your view doesn't count for this one. Right. Next. Right. Who are you and why are you here? And give us a little bit of information about yourself and what value you can bring to this party.
So, Mirren Bash, no relation to any previous Mirrens you may be aware of, traveling the world.
The Mirren. What's up?
So,
You mean Mirren of Stronghold?
yeah.
Oh.
Funny. It's
We shall call him not Mirren.
very common name.
Yeah.
Weird. So, from the Underdark, as you can tell from the features, the weird purpley skin and white hair should give it away as a dead ringer. However, my journey is to essentially right the wrongs of the Underdark and hopefully gain strength and a party to rid it of Loth and any of her other cronies, essentially.
Ooh, Loth. Yeah. You.
Nice.
So I'm traveling the world, gain power to do that.
Please don't ruin it by saying you want to torture people. And I kind of nodded.
So,
Okay.
so what? So give me a demonstration of your abilities. What can you do?
Level 1? No.
I aspire to a lot of things.
Well, at this moment, I could tell you that there is no evil or demons or undead in their immediate vicinity, which
I also knew that.
But beyond that, at the current time, I can lay on hands from, given power from my god, and I can heal or remove sickness or disease. And that's
Nice. That sword on your back, you able to use it, or is it there for an ornament?
quite well. The long sword is for enemies and those who I deem
Torturers of innocent people.
So in this case, then, deem the dummy over there has your enemy. Demonstrate your ability with that sword.
Well, without turning around, I unsheathe the long sword and just swivel real quick, put it back, call it good.
They just assume everything's a crit when you describe these things. I was like, oof, delicious.
Yeah, I'll give that to you, Tim. He looks better than you.
Fine. I'm okay with that. Yeah, more paladins the better. Huzzah.
No, thanks. Go and sit over on the table back there. You'll see the people around it. Introduce yourself, make friends. There should be some drink. Don't drink it all. I'll be over there in a bit. I need my own. In that fact, there, Belinda, drink. Let's get a
Okay,
flag in
now a gnome walks in. Looks a lot like Nick's character. Hey, buddy. You see me? Yeah, I look over at Noynek and give Noynek a wink, and I'm like, hey, little guy. I mean, big guy. Whatever. Get on in here. What brings you here, buddy?
I heard you guys are looking for adventurers.
Oh, you're a lot older than I expected. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, a little bit. I'm about 100, 105-ish.
Figure you look very good. You look a lot of aloe. Very good. Very good. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, so what brings you to an adventuring party?
I do magics.
You do magics.
I do magic.
Fantastic. Okay. Why don't you give us a quick display? I points at the dummy that they're putting the head back on and trying to stitch it like as best they can.
So, out of curiosity, what's on the table in front of you? As the
My helmet.
Just your helmet?
Right here. Yeah. And there's like a beer.
So, I
With
point.
fingerprints in it.
Yeah. So I point, and I freeze your beer. I do magics. See, look, I do this thing with ice. And I
Okay.
freeze your.
That's
Does
pretty
Gwen
sweet. I'm
have
pretty
a
sad
beer?
now that my beer's frozen, but
But that's not all. Check this out. So I point with the other hand, and I catch it on fire instead of.
That's all. I'm drinking that.
That's okay. That's okay. Do you want it colder? I point my other finger, at your beer in an attempt to make it cold, but probably freeze it anyway.
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
On that note, just add a bit of flavor, Henry, because I know you're a wild magic sorcerer. When you do your third little zap, you actually see around you flowers start to appear all the way around you and start to fall at your feet. And as you fall at your feet, each one hits the floor and goes into flames or ice. And you're like, oh, oh. And then as quickly as it arrives, it just vanishes. And we're like, that was impressive.
Absolutely. I totally didn't mean to do that.
Well, that's really cool. How do you handle situations where members of the party disagree on this is the same question I just gave someone else. This thing keeps jumping around, I apologize. We're just going to drop down. How do you approach conflicts between your own personal moral code and that of your party members, or those of the society that you're in?
Oh, I don't know about that. I just try to be a nice guy. It's not polite to be mean, so...
What if someone's being mean to someone else in the party?
Well, that's very not nice.
Okay.
We don't do that.
I like him.
If you can get more of those flowers, he's in.
Yeah. Best
So I'm
midget we
gonna
have.
try.
Yeah.
So
All right.
as I stand there, when you say that, I am going to cast a disguise self. I don't know his spells as much as I know life cleric spells, but I'm pretty sure I can turn myself into a flower.
No, you can turn yourself into any other humanoid.
Oh, sorry. All right, wrong spell. Minor illusion.
Yeah. He turns into one of those Mario Brothers
My
flame
illusion.
flower things. Like,
I'm still learning this thing. So yeah, I put a bouquet of flowers on the table in front of you. Hold
Okay.
on.
Well, that looks good. Well, why don't you have a seat with your friends? They're going to give you a quick lunch, and we'll be over to talk to you in a few moments.
That's fantastic. I'm really hungry, and all my friends are really hungry. Come on, guys. And as I do
That's
this,
great.
all the little mice in the bar kind of follow me in line to the table because I speak to animals.
Skylar, hit mute. Go ahead.
So yeah, I say, I express my gratitude, and I'm like, yeah, I'm super hungry, and so are my friends. And
You
come on,
have
guys.
friends?
And
There's loads of food at the back
whatever
table.
mice are in
Oh,
the area, and a
Okay.
couple birds kind of like fly in behind me, and we sit at the table. And
Can you talk to those?
eat-
Can you talk to the birds?
I can speak to small animals.
Can they speak back to you?
Oh my god, are
Yeah,
you
but
a
it's
Disney
not-
princess?
Yeah, it sounds like
Yeah. All right. Okay. Next walks in is a Githzari? Githyanki? Shatterkai. There's the three different ones. Is it Githzari?
Yeah, it's the Githzerai. Yeah.
Githzerai. Okay. And then that puts Pleep on deck.
Okay, so I turn to the Glithrazai and say, it's unusual to see one of your race around these parts. So, what brings you to Waterdeep?
Well, after a series of unfortunate Yelp reviews, I decided to close out my blacksmithing business to show that my weapons and armor are actually equipped and ready for action, as they put
You're
it.
a blacksmith.
Yes.
Is your weapons on you of your make?
Actually, and he sets down like a long staff that has a pointy, sharp blade at the end. And as the pike hits the ground, his mage hand will reach out invisibly and pull a dagger from his side leg and plop it in his hand. Here, have a look at this.
I'll weigh it up. I'll sort of sit there. You done a good job with this, have you? Is it? I start to look at it. I go for it.
That's Damascus steel. Interesting.
I'm like, very impressive. It will kill. No, sorry,
Nice.
couldn't resist.
Copyright infringement.
You forged this yourself in fire. No.
Yes. All of my weapons and armor I make.
Well, if you are successful, I'll be happy to trade techniques. I've been a smith since I was all my life.
Interesting. We'll have to trade notes.
Yes, so I'll sort of throw it back to you. Well, any weapon's as good as it can be made, but can you use it?
Course, and he'll grab his pike as his mage hand grabs the dagger and stows it back and swing it around and just stab the pike into, I don't know, the nearest non-threatening wooden object.
Tim gets hit in the chest.
Yeah.
No.
Don't worry. Lays on hands. I'm okay.
Okay. As you've noticed here, we are asking questions of how you would handle yourself in situations. Right. Have you ever had to weigh the life of a party member against the success or failure of a mission? If so, how did you approach the decision? And if you haven't so far, what do you think you would do?
I don't believe I have so far, but if I had to, probably would depend on the situation at hand and the party member in question.
So you're saying that if you didn't particularly like said party member, you'd be more inclined to let him die?
Yes, if they gave me a bad review, then best luck to them.
I like your knives. Interesting.
As I turned to Tim, I just sort of go, we may need to make sure that this one and the druid aren't in the same party.
Wink. I'd say wink like out loud. I got a minus one on intelligence. Wink.
Oh. Well, okay. That's an interesting answer, but I suppose beggars can't be choosers and all that. Right. Okay. And yes. So, can you go into the back of the room, please, and join the rest of the people over there? Yes. Brent seems quite taken back by that answer. He's a little bit. Oh, God. Interesting. Right. And Tim, over to you.
Okay. Next, looks like a 5 foot tall blue Aarakocra walking in. Over to you, Pleep.
All right. As you see this Aarakocra walk in, you hear trumpets kind of go off in the background, and then just a steady beat.
How does that
sound?
How are you doing that?
I am doing that through prestidigitation. So it's casting spells as I walk in, and you notice as I come up, my feathers kind of go out. When that happens, you smell lavender. You get this whiff of lavender. It smells really good. And it goes,
cool.
and then like, and then
by the way.
and then like, I am Pete Bleep, caster of mind-bending illusions, and then sparks go up in the air. Then like, then I cast another. The torches go out. Then it gets dark again, and then boom, the torches go back on. Whatnot.
Somewhere from the back,
I cast spells.
You hear me go, "Hey, Bleep, what's up, friend?"
Okay.
Casting spells. I cast all kinds of spells for entertainment, for fun, for distraction. So not only do I cast illusions and distractions, and also entertain, and maybe adjust your drink to taste a little bit better. I also
make it not be frozen. And I just,
he goes there and he says, like, it just goes a little. Let's see here. Can you do that? Yes, you can cast a little bit of heat on.
Okay.
There. So there he goes. It's cold. Just careful with that.
I look over at Heineken like, shake my head.
And then after he does that, you hear a whisper. You hear a whisper just in yours after he give you the drink that says like, "It's the light, Tim." It's like really, really faint. It's the light, Tim. I was like, I give you a wink, like so. And I go to the other point. I'm like, and speaking of not just casting illusions, and he looks at the mannequin. There, goes back, his wings kind of feather back, kind of like broad, and you see him go forward. His expression changes, beak opens, and a ray of frost comes from it, right into it. Puts the little bit of damage into it, but also freezes around it. And then you hear the.
I really hope he's not into torturing people. All right.
He's kind of like looking there, like.
That you walk into a town, okay? And this town's income is based on slavery. You happen to go through the town and you notice that they're not really paying attention. Do you go around the town? What do you do morally with this situation? We'll see a town, 6-7 people, you see 3 or 4 slaves sitting out, and you got your party with you. Party seems like they want to keep moving on. Going with the party?
So I'll ask the party to stay and see what's causing the slavery. Also, not only that, like I'll see if there's anything I can do to kind of make them feel a little better. Maybe cast a campfire next to them, or make them make their food, their whatever they're consuming taste better, and maybe even give them as I can do sometimes the spells, a little bit of a non-harmful feel, like a nice hand on the shoulder, without me actually touching them. But then get to the bottom of it and see what's causing the slavery.
That works. Okay. Point.
He got me with he got me with the fireworks, to be fair.
Yeah, you had me at least warming the beer up as I look over at the gnome. You know what I mean? Why don't you have a seat over there? And
No, thank you.
Yeah, we'll be over in a moment.
It was nice meeting you. Take care.
Next, and in walks in Eddie Vedder. Eddie Vader. That would have been a cool one. In walks in. Looks like you carrying your guitar.
Cool. So,
yeah. Here we go.
Human walks in. Dark brown hair, a beard that is kind of like kept, but it's gotten kind of stubbly. or overgrown a little bit. A worn-out Gambizan, kind of what you see typically of the Waterdeep soldiers, along with leather armor that they typically wear as well. A long sword at his left hip and a dagger at his right, with an instrument strung across his back. And he walks in and seeing the two individuals sitting at the table, immediately walks up to you and goes like, "Hey guys, I'm Flynn."
Hey, great to meet you. First handshake of the day.
What's your name?
Yeah.
Tim.
Oh, Tim.
Yeah.
You dwarf, sir. What's your name?
Point.
Oh, awesome. You guys can call me Flynn. And then he's just like, if there's a chair or a non-chair, he'll just kind of like pick it up and sit down and go.
As you do that, I'll sort of say, appreciate the friendliness, but stand back a couple of steps a minute. You've seen everybody else. I know that I see that you're a bard. The world is not revolving around you today, my friend. Stay back a couple of steps.
Oh, damn.
What can you bring to the party? We've got this little robot that seems really friendly at Cassia and stuff. So,
honestly, I just solid summons. Just kind of graduated from Bard College, military pension.
Waterdeep GI Bill. I just read about that.
I wanted to see where this took me, and saw this and
wow.
said, hey, why not?
So, what type of bard are you? What can you do?
One that plays an instrument.
Give me a song.
Okay. So he kind of it's like I literally just learned this couple. Okay, and then he like pulls out just like a little silver piece and lets it. Goes, okay, hold on. That's not it. No. I got it. I swear, guys.
Kumbaya. Wait, no, that's the one. Kumbaya. Wait.
And then he starts strumming, and you guys. No.
Okay. Thunder. This is Peruvian.
On the thing that you see, all of a sudden you hear a loud thunderous energy hit it, and you see it kind of like shake and rattle and start falling apart. I learned that. It's pretty fucking cool. God damn it.
Now that actually is quite impressive. That
I was also a soldier, so pretty decent. With that stuff too. Yeah.
To be fair, it's impressive. But couple of question for you. Now, how do you, Flynn, ensure that your personal biases don't interfere with your decision or actions on an adventure?
Oh damn! I didn't know this was kind of a question and answer interview. Crap.
Well, it's only one question and it's only one answer.
Okay. Cool. Personal biases. Well, I mean, if it's for the good of the group, or for example, like when me and the boys were having to fight some bandits, it was kind of like I may not like Alexei, because he's kind of an asshole, but he comes up with a good plan. I'm gonna listen to him, So and that happened like about a year ago. Like we came up across like some bandits, and he came up with this great plan. Like the dude was an asshole, so I was like, okay, cool. Like I hate your face, but okay. I don't know. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. I get that, especially. Yeah, military is. There's lots of things you've done that have been hard. So, right. Show us what you can do with that sword on your side. Go and use that on the dummy. Go and hit it.
You see him pull out the sword and kind of like stretches, and what you do notice is that he's probably gained a couple of pounds since he worn the stuff last. He's like, okay, cool. And then he makes just a quick like basic attack, and he makes one hit, and then you see him pull his dagger out, and kind of like fumble with it a little bit, but he manages to hit with the second attack. He's like, I'm still trying to learn how to two hands like I used to, but figured getting on the road and doing this event would probably be a good way to get back into the good graces of my body, because I feel a little stiff.
Well, if you're successful on this, there'll be definitely exercise to be had. How good are you at walking?
I haven't done it for
We're gonna walk a lot.
a bit. It's a thing that I guess I'll get my marching boots on, and I'll be good to go.
Yeah, you'll definitely need them, because all the horses have gone down south with the armies. There are no horses left. So if anybody had any thoughts that horses would be involved in this campaign for the first bit, they are mistaken. They are gone to the army. So yeah, fine, right. Who else is left in the queue, Tim? Who's not here? Who's not here that's in the queue?
That's it. That's it. What do you think?
Is there anybody else in the queue that hasn't made it today?
Lawrence, but well, he's gonna meet us along the way, I think.
Okay. You might find that. Yeah. I was just making sure we've gone through that. So okay, I turned to Tim and go, to be honest, I didn't think we'd get this many.
The room is kind of quiet now, right? The door's closed. Everybody's kind of
left.
Are you still sitting there? Oh. You can stay there. That's fine.
Flip. Go get a drink in the back. Drink food back.
Okay.
Sorry, it's been a long day. We've been at this for like 3 hours. This is, and I've only had one beer the whole time. This is just.
I don't even want my beer anymore. It's got handprints in it. It's been cold. It's been hot. And now it's like warm and flat. But anyways, I stand up and chug it. And I try to use my big boy voice that attempts to echo through the hall to address everyone. And I look over at Puent and kind of give a nod. It was a momentous occasion with folks coming in, and as I look over the sea of faces, I was expecting a lot of hesitance, but I see a lot of eager anticipation. My dear friends, it is my pleasure to explain to you the task that lies ahead. It has come to our attention that there are some mysterious onyx megaliths in 2 small towns near here. We wish for these megaliths to be investigated. We had personally spoke to Henry just 3 days ago. We are splitting you into 2 teams. One will be traveling to Nightstone, and the other to the south, and one to Phandalin to the north. We expect the expedition to take a few weeks. But for the right people, it will lead to further adventure and employment. Dramatic pause. Oh, and also to read that out loud. The tension begins to set in just a little bit as Bethany the barmaid kind of like slowly stops, mopping up a little bit of spilt beer from the night before. We've been instructed to offer each and every one of you 100 gold pieces per month as a retainer for your services. When Penn or myself calls your name out, please come to the relevant side. But make no mistake, my dear friends, just because Plant and I are on these teams, we are not in charge. We will only be able to achieve our goals by, with, and through teamwork. And a leader with natural talents will emerge. Me. Without further ado, opens up D&D and Beyond, and I point at like the left long. There's two long tables in front of a fire. And I'll walk to the one nearest to the fireplace, and I'll call out, Bort, is it? And I kind of I slap the side of the table for him to hop up. Moriana, if you would. Noynek. Good sir. You know, I give him a thumbs up, and I give him. I notice, like, I give him like a either side. I don't really point to a location. Cleep Maleep, come on down. And I gesture him to move forward, and your friend Zora, if you don't mind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, yep, that's Kate. I'm confusing if I'm the DM or me, and I sit down at that table and I look over at Point. I'm like, go ahead, and I point at the other table.
I get up, sort of stretch a little bit. You can hear my back sort of crack. Pick up the beer, walk over to the table, sit down, put my feet up on it. Belinda, Darak, or Dark, look, clearly Flip's the right person.
Sorry.
Flynn, you're with me, Flynn. Come on, over here. Heineken, Flower Boy, that's it. You're at this table. Mirren. Have I missed anybody else out?
Oh, we got Zora. Zara's at our table. That's right. She's.
You missed. Zara's left her on her own, and I go. I thought Zara was with you, Tim.
Yep, she is. Yep. My bad. Didn't see you back there. Zara, you're with us.
So on my table, I've got Belinda. How do I pronounce your name? Sorry, DM.
Mine?
Yeah.
Him? Wait. What?
No. Anyone, look. I Judgy. Oh, Judgy. How do I pronounce your name?
Yeah, Dark. Yeah.
Stop using weird names on a dyslexic person. Right. Okay. Belinda, Dark, Flynn, Heineken, Mirren, and Puent. So that's R6 on this table, and I'll say to them, where? As I said, we need to walk. Got to walk on. We are going to be heading north to Flanders.
Right, you're going for it. And you see me like all confused, like, yeah, that's right. Yep. And then we'll be heading south. But what we'll do is, I think that we've got a dinner put on for you guys, and we've got some drinks and potentially some dice games that Point has added to this scenario. I thought you said you did. Maybe not. But that being said, as they serve our feast, we're going to take a quick 10-minute break so I can relax a little bit, and then we'll be back in a minute for some quick follow-on stuff. Does that sound good for you, Point?
Sounds great. I need a drink.
Right. Yeah. Same.
Be right back.
Thank you, everybody, for watching so far. We'll be back in 10 minutes.
Thank you, guys.
So it's been a moment, and everybody's had one or two, whether they want apple juice or dwarven ale. Don't recommend. Probably wouldn't even be in this tavern itself, but everybody's sitting around, figuratively drinking a Heineken, not literally drinking Heineken. The gnome that's at our table. We're all gonna sit down and get to know each other just a little bit better. Tim, definitely not Sir Tim, as the DM stated that I'm not knighted yet, so I'm just Tim Esquire. I sit down and thank everybody for their patience and going through the awkward moments of an interview. Moriana, I'm sure you were probably just a little bit confused, and every once in a while I could tell you were getting nervous. Hence the reason you want to torture people randomly. Pleep, you did a great job with your display of magic. That was awesome. So me personally, I grew up just south of here. I'm from Daggerford. I don't know if you got heard. I was one of the squires of Sir Esteval. Sir Esteval left to go back to Cormier a long time ago. I came of age and I moved down to Elturel. I'm just kind of talking to you guys at the table, getting things going. I moved down to Elturel to find my way, and there's this dude down there that's running the church a little bit differently. This guy named Fabius Krieg. He's building this group of companions, and I wasn't really feeling their vibes. I had to be raised to be a Hell Rider to be one of those paladins, and I didn't really want to be one of his companions because they didn't really seem as righteous as what I was hoping for. The war happened with the Cult of the Dragon, as I'm still trying to find my way into battle or to glory or what have you, to find experience. I actually came up here, and like a week later the Blue Dragon attacks Elturel, so I missed that one. I showed up here in Waterdeep, and last night, or a couple weeks ago, I watched this guy, if you've heard of Archbishop Henry. He gave an amazing speech. If you remember the speech where you dressed up and gave the speech to Waterdeep before everybody marched, this character was at that, and ever since then it brought a tear to my eye, and I've been all about justice and balance and following him. I've become a fanboy of this guy Henry, and I signed up to go to the Well of Dragons. Well, I ran into the dwarf over there, and I wave over at Point. I ran into him, and I'm not very bright, but he taught me how to get around the city and things like that. We both got summoned to Henry, and I thought for a second my big day was coming. And instead of being able to join the armies, there was this samurai in a room, and a very mysterious looking. What did he look like? Point as I yelled at him. He looked like he was wearing a hooded guy, and he had all these tattoos on his hands. They were whispering, and they gave us this contract. And they said that we couldn't go to the Well of Dragons, and we had to go investigate whatever's going on in Daggerford. So, I'm trying to keep as positive as I can, because I wanted to fight the big war. And so hopefully we do right by the world by discovering whatever this is. And I'm trying to talk, so everybody in the group can hear. So that's a little bit of my story. The group of us will head to a little town tomorrow morning. To the south, we'll be going to Daggerford, a little town called Nightstone. Not sure what's going on there, but we'll figure it out. And I pass out this long sheet of paper that the guards hand me, and it's the contract, right, that we all read. And underneath it, it's got a fold, and I kind of pass it around for everybody to make their mark. And I sign it, Tim, and I leave a little space to put Sir in front of that. And it's like Tim, and I move on, and I pass it off to Point. Give me 1 second as I bring something up real quick. Point, did you have anything, or I can keep ad-libbing for a sec.
No, that's fair. I also need to make sure I introduce myself a bit. Obviously, to be honest, I didn't want to do this. It's not my expertise is picking people. But to be fair, We saw 60, 70 people today, and most of them are just scum of the earth that haven't gone and fought in the war or tried to help out. They've tried to join this just to earn some money and get out of Wolfsteep. You're the only ones that actually seem to have any motivation at all for that. Thank you. My name's Puent. I'm a cleric of Moderin, the All-Father of Dwarfs, if anyone's ever heard of him. All this armor, all this weapon, I forged my own 2 hands. My past is my past. Leave it as that. If you get to know me a bit more, maybe I'll share some more. But Dark, yeah, interested to look at your techniques of your weapons. Maybe we can help each other out, because no one's perfect, and anyone that says they are in this world, to be honest, it's not the sort of person you want to be around. So I'm on a pilgrim. I'm on a pathway. I am looking to become a forged cleric in dedication to Moradin. It means that hopefully soon I'll be able to forge metal with just these bare hands. No need for an anvil, no need for a forge. I will just be able to, with divine energy from Moradin, forge exactly as I see fit. So once I have a bit more experience, I will be able to help any member of this party with metal items of any kind. I will be able to do. It's what I want to do. It's what I need to do to get better. I need to be able to eventually make something that is suitable for Moradin, and I know that's going to be years away. But as Tim said, I like to call him Sir Tim because he likes it, but he's not a sir at the moment, but his name's Tim.
You're gonna hold that over my head for 3 years, aren't you? I'll get knighted, one way or another.
By knighted, hit by a knight.
Yeah. Count it.
We are going to be heading north to the word beginning with Flandrin. Is that the word? I'm not very good with words.
Yeah.
Flandrin.
Yeah.
I'm a dwarf. I hit things with hammers. I don't need to talk that much. So we're going down that. We're going up north. I think last time I looked is at least 3 or 4 days travel. So again, walking boots are a must. Not sure if Tim. Obviously, we're going to be. And I down my next drink and pour it. I expect tonight to be messy. Well, I'm going to be messy. Put it that way. I'm definitely having some more of these before we go. But tomorrow morning at daybreak, this group, we are travelling north to meet at the North Gate. Remember, Tim, you're going south.
I'm going south. Not where the DM's going. I'm going where I'm going.
Yeah, you're going south, Tim, okay?
Yeah. Okay. And by the way, this is all open RP. He and I are just kind of going. If anybody wants to interrupt or say something or whatever, like pop in there and we'll play off it. The bottom line, the scenario is you know that like the nice phase of when you meet somebody, you guys are all sitting around the table together, right? And you're kind of getting to know each other. So let's see who's with me, and I'll remind who is at my table.
As soon as like both you and Point finish your stuff, you see Point go, and then notice nobody else stops.
Yeah, I clap too because I feel bad. You know what I mean? I'll also clap. It's okay. So at my table, once again, it's Pleep and Zora, and I'll just like. So how do you guys know each other? Pleep, Zora?
Oh, I'll start. I'll go with a bit of my backstory here. So where I came from. So I was studying magic arts, right? I kind of had an affinity for it, so went to go and study, and would from time to time try to make a bit of coin, entertaining with magic, making trinkets, selling them, or just entertaining on the street. Didn't really take it seriously enough, at least for their taste, the scholars there. So they said I had to stop, and I told them to suck an egg and left. So
very Dick Tracy.
Which,
Yeah,
by the way, when you're a bird, that's a really terrible insult.
It was.
I
It was.
get
They
it.
took it to heart. They took it to heart. So I was like, it's not for me. So I'm still learning spells. I know a good amount, at least enough to entertain on the streets. Unfortunately, I wasn't doing very well. Wasn't getting enough of an audience until the circus came about. And I went and saw and snuck in. Didn't have a lot of money, so I snuck in and sat up on a perch. And yeah, I can do that. And saw Zora there, and also other athletes, gymnasts, shows of different animals and whatnot, like lions and other acrobatics doing their thing. They didn't have a magic show. Very impressive show of strength from Zora, but they didn't have a magic show, so I auditioned and got the part and made my living that way. And that's where I met Zora, and we became friends, hit it off. Her being the very forward, strong person she is, and me being the entertainer, silly, I guess, kind of sporadic bird in the group, and kind of hit it off very well.
That was awesome. Thank you.
So
I imagine in like cartoonish are these big barbells? They got like big giant balls on the side. You know what I mean? They're classic.
Oh yeah, like.
They don't have plates in Peru. They're just I mean, like old timey. Yeah.
And I lift them up and they like bend. It looks really cool. Everybody thinks they're really neat.
That's awesome.
Yeah, no, I mean, my dad. I learned the trade skills from my dad, right? Because there's something to be like, just strong. You gotta have the muscles to carry off the look, but there's some trade skills, if you will, like without kayfabe, right? But like, it's not everything you think you're seeing. Right. But nevertheless, you still gotta get your iron in every day to look like this. She like looks over the barmaid, winks. I can't be a little shrimp like Featherbutt over here.
I want to cast Lion's Roar when she does that, using my prestidigitation of Lion's Roar or minor illusion.
Nice. Okay.
I she kind of like
useful. A lot of good persuasion things going on here.
Right. And I kind of like point at him and I'm like, yeah, it's kind of why I keep him around. Like he makes me feel good about myself.
That was all you. That was you.
Okay. Does everybody at the table have everything in their haversacks that are required? I don't think there's a lot left in the town, but we're gonna leave here on foot to the south tomorrow. Everybody ready to rock?
I believe Lady Gariel gave me everything I need. I'm ready to go.
We have one, so everybody has 10 days worth of rations, just so you know. And it kind of like, there's a storeroom behind us I crack open, so you don't need to dig into that with your money. She can forage. Okay. I picked up that you were a little nervous during the interview, but I see it after a few, what is it, water deep Ren years?
Some libation.
Libations. Libations that liberate the tongue.
Yes. That's cool. Well, there's not a lot to forage around in Waterdeep, unless we're going after mice and stuff, so we'll get out of this city. I'm not a big fan either.
Oh, Tim, before when I get up and leave, like in a spot, I'll kind of make it a habit. I like to, sometimes my feathers will fall out, and I like to take them and put them in my pouch.
I was going to use one as a pen, and I click it, and I hand it back to you. I was like, this is yours.
All right.
Quill. That was a Quill joke. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Point.
You collect your own feathers?
Yeah. What do you do with the feathers?
It's an equivalent of
I sell them.
collecting your fingernails, right?
I sell them.
Back on later?
For quills. Like, have you seen these feathers? Like blue feathers? Wouldn't you want one?
That's us. That's an us problem. That's not a them problem.
Translate to the robots. Orcs starting to talk.
Zoom just cut out.
Oh, all of our internets just stopped.
No, we can hear you fine.
Yeah, we can hear you just fine.
Yeah, we're actually fine.
Your Wi-Fi.
Can you hear us?
Maybe they can't hear us.
I'm like, so for some reason, twice a day, It's been doing it again. I don't know if it's a summer thing or whatnot, but we'll be back.
This is really
Can you
funny.
hear us, Tim?
Quint will take
Tim,
over.
can you,
We'll be up.
Tim, can you hear us?
There was a network.
Can you hear us, Tim? Tim, can you hear us?
You'll have to go around and like hit refresh on.
I think that's a no.
Do you want to? If you mute Tim and Epione for now, just so they can disappear, and we'll get back in a minute. Otherwise, they'll keep going through stuff.
Mute.
Okay. So I look at the rest of the on my table, and obviously three of the team, or some of the teams just vanished into the ether, and they've got drunk and they've fallen over, and they're subconscious at the moment. But we'll wake them up in a minute, obviously. But I'm like, Dark. Again, we'll have to trade some stories about your weapons and that. But what brings you to Farun? Obviously, your species can travel. No, you're not. We're doing some else now.
Oh, okay. Now you can hit refresh. There we go. Whoopsie daisy.
So, Dark.
Sometimes it bees like that.
It's okay. We've carried on and doing introductions on my table.
Oh, great. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, I was completely distracted.
So Dark.
I feel like my Wi-Fi went out in my brain.
I was completely taken aback by that strong chick in the bird. Cause that's cool.
Women love being called chicks.
What'd you say?
Bird. We'll get to you in a minute, Flynn. We thought you passed out with the beer.
Okay. Cool. I'll be here then.
2 seconds. So, Dark, how long have you been in for him?
Quite some time. I'd say 15 years, give or take.
Oh, to be honest, I've never left this world. It's my home. You know, I wouldn't know what it's like to be from between different worlds and stuff, because, to be honest, it's this ground. This is where I'm from. I sort of stamp on the ground a bit, and like, it's got to be a bit strange, sort of going between different areas and that. How many different worlds have you been to?
That's a good question. I only remember this world and waking up in the middle of a forest. So there's that. But as far as other worlds,
wow, that's what we can. I'll be very interested to find out about people that have the ability to travel or something like that. It's beyond my understanding.
how long have you been foraging?
I've been foraging now for 272 years.
That's a bit more than me, if I had to guess.
Yeah, no, I was allowed to start working at the forge when I was 50. So
I might like to see a forge off between you two.
yeah, it's to be honest, you're a dwarf. You're expected to use a forge. Look, I get that. My family have a few history. I wasn't allowed to do certain things, and then got of an age where they really couldn't take the hammer out of my hand anymore. So I was allowed to.
Oh, 14. Get out of here.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Interesting. So, Blandina.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Blandina,
Yeah,
you got it right this time.
Bandana.
Twent pats himself on the back like that and goes, Which forest do you... I know quite a lot of high elves and stuff. Which forest do you come from around here?
Well, that's an interesting story. I don't come from anywhere near here.
Guy, Colt? Rams...
I've only been here about 2 weeks. I am from the realm space known as Kryn. Have you ever heard of it?
Pardon?
Of Kryn.
No. Does anybody... And I look around my table, so I look at Dark, Flynn, Heineken and Mirren and sort of go, anybody heard of Kryn? is it Kryn?
Kryn. Kryn.
C or K?
With a K. That is with a K.
I heard they have dragons and lances.
Yes, we did have the Battle of the Dragonlance. If anybody's heard of that.
So did you bring any of the lances with you? They've been really useful at the moment.
No, it was my departure from Kryn was rather hasty. You see, I grew up in a royal family. My father is royalty in Kryn and Ansalon, Porthos, Canaan. Well, anyways, I grew up in the tutelage of his court wizard, Gilthanas, and I've spent most of my life trying to get away from those royal duties, but I've learned some wizardry through the court wizard there. Anyways, to make this long story short, I was pegged to. Let's not use that word. I was set to. Let me rephrase. I was betrothed to a local.
Betrothed to somebody who was pegging you?
No.
What's happening? What happened? We've derailed. We've gone to NC-17.
You have 2 bars in this campaign.
I was betrothed.
And I'm not one of them.
Yeah.
I was betrothed to a local financier, and I knew I needed to get out of town. I did not want anything to do with it, so I convinced Gilthanas to cast a portal to allow me to plane shift, and it dumped me here. So anything you guys can tell me, I would love to learn about the cultures and peoples of Faerun, and hopefully give back to it.
And, like flowing, Prince Charming crowd in here, like, and then I walk up, feel charmed.
As you do that, I look around and go, just bear in mind, I'm not sure how diverse Kryn is in terms of races, but look at this table. Look at these 2 tables in front of you. We've got humans, we've got elves, we've got 3 types of gnomes. We've got half-elves, we've got dwarfs. This is what Faerun is. It's a diversity of different cultures and different people.
Kryn is very similar, with some differing. We have some similar races with some differing.
I call it Faerun, where I'm from. He calls it Faerun. Yeah. It just depends on what part of Blighters you're from. Faerun.
I'm from underground. We talk differently. Okay.
Yeah.
It's all the hitting of rocks.
Yeah. The forgotten
with my head.
So I'm very good with the public, but I'm not. I don't know your cultures as well, so it'll be a learning experience for me.
I will write to you. I say, like, weirdly, loudly and awkwardly.
I'll sort of say
I'll write to you.
I'll lean into Blandina and go, is he still charmed?
What was that?
Is he still charmed?
Oh, yes. And I go, and I pull the charm down.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Also,
or whatever.
And I'll say to Blandina, just for future reference, I'm not sure what it's like in Kryn, but with friends, we generally don't charm them.
Okay, that's fine.
At least ask permission first.
Consent is king. I got it.
Yes, exactly. Yes. So,
I look over and I'm like, you didn't need to charm me.
and as I turn to Tim, I go, unfortunately, you're going south. I'm going north.
Oh, I'm going. Oh, I understand. Yeah.
From behind, you hear a calliope.
Is that Bork?
That's Bork.
I'm gonna go hang out with Bork. All right. This is good stuff. Actually, I'm gonna come and sit down next to Noynek. Everybody's kind of cruising around. Everybody's about like three cervezas deep here at the tavern. I'll plop down next to Noynek as things are kind of booming and be like, "Hey, man, I'm sorry to insult you earlier by calling you big man or whatever. It's just the first thing that came out of my head."
Nonek's got his cloak kind of pulled over. He's sitting off by himself a little bit. He just kind of like lifts his cloak a little and looks at you. He's like, "Don't worry about it. I'm not here to make friends."
Oh well, I'll fix that. You know, I kind of give him a nudge, but I'm happy to have you, and I think I really trust what Henry was saying, and maybe we'll get into a scrap. And to be honest with you, I want to get down there as quick as possible, find out whatever hullabaloo is going on, and maybe you and me, we head to the Well of Dragons and catch up with the army. You know, what do you think?
We'll see what happens. We're working together.
Yeah, I mean, we'll at least get the first 100 gold pieces. That'll at least get me down there. Anyways, you know, I keep chugging my beer.
I would like to, while everyone's talking and whatnot, I'm kind of like observing everybody, and since I could do it, I want to create these little small trinkets that kind of look like all of the people that are sitting at the tables.
Oh, cool.
Like little small ones. And kind of doing that as everyone's kind of talking, kind of sliding them down, and I want to hand them to them after, just for fun.
How are you doing that if you don't?
Can never say this right, is prestidigitation. You can create non-magical trinkets. Just verbal and movement actions.
Do they last forever, or is it only last an hour?
It'll last an hour.
Yeah.
That's all. Just a little token. For fun. So that's my.
He's a cleric of lawyering. Just, it's just like,
that's fine.
No,
it's all right there. I'm not going to do anything beyond that.
Those
So
trinkets last.
they last an hour, so you have a trinket for an hour.
Well, no, it's
As
just
long
so
as you can
people
enjoy
know.
it.
Yeah,
okay.
just so people know, they don't go, "I take this trinket with me. I've got this trinket forever."
Yeah,
and then it
There's a
vanishes
lot
with them.
you could do with this spell.
Oh,
yeah. So there's a lot you could do with it. It's minor, but quality of life changes. So I'll be
You can
doing
make
that.
your food. You can make your food taste slightly.
I put a bit of cherry in my drink already, like a little bit of cherry flavor in mine.
Oh, it's not it. Probably
So.
Moriana. Can you make things?
Little wood.
Oh, okay. You're not at flower making yet or anything like that. You're a druid, right? Yeah. Not yet though. Me neither. I don't know any spells.
Both.
So
Start grasping vine and all like.
that's pretty cool. You think you could make them into a quick bracelet? Okay, and you can do anything you want during the session. Yeah. What if we make like 12 or 13 of these things? I say, like, you know, when maybe we come back here one day and, you know, we show off our thing. You want to make about 12 of those little things?
Ooh,
You know?
Chip bracelets.
like one?
Yeah. You know,
Mine don't last forever, but at least you can have it for now.
Yeah.
As you start to do it, I go, hey, look, we're about to leave Waterdeep. It's the great beyond for days and days and days of walking. It's about time we have a couple of drinks and get to know each other. And who likes to play dice?
Oh, that's not.
Yeah,
I do.
I've been known to throw
and
the dice.
I turn to Pleep and go, can you make some dice for me?
So we come back.
Make some dice, whatever. Like you want
Yeah.
shapes or just dots?
I take the top.
Either six-sided little square one.
Six-sided shape. They're gonna look like mushrooms.
There's a story behind it.
So I get some dice. I get 3 little dice off Pleep, and I go, right. This is an old dwarven drinking game. Sorry, a game, not drinking game. Not all dwarven games that involve drink.
That's a
I'll have
lie.
that.
Even in Kryn.
And nudge my neck like, sure.
So right,
That took one session. Hey!
And
So angry, everybody.
this is what we do in Dwarven. I'll start, so it's just the easiest way of doing it. I will roll 3d6. Got a drink in front of me.
Oh,
I will then point at one of you.
I got these big bad boys.
And when I point at you, you roll 3d6, and if you beat me, you've got to beat 2 people on the trot. And if you do beat your 2 people on the trot, you get to down your drink.
Get to down it?
Yeah. Down your one.
Wait, was that Bork or was that
That's Blandina.
Blandina? I like her already. You hear me say, I like her already.
So, I have rolled 9. And I shut my eyes, I spin round, and I point right at, get the name right, Moriana.
Me?
Roll 3d6.
9.
We got a roll off already. Look at how exciting this is. 7.
Does that mean I win?
What did you get this time?
Ooh. That was a 9. No,
9.
13.
Higher than 7 anyway, yeah? So you win, and I'm like, as you get in the hang of this, you look, the game's a bit weird. The fact is that dwarves like drinking, so it's actually for them to lose and they can't drink. It's a dwarven game. It's a dwarven game. It's like a bit didn't get to drink, and he puts it down. Yeah, and he goes, right, go on then, Miranda, carry on, point at some random person.
If you get that,
somebody else gets a drink. Fine. So, Miranda, pick random person.
By the way, I appreciate the Death by Snoo Snoo reference. That's absolutely me as the female barbarian. Snoo, 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 snoo.
Oh, okay, nice.
Please.
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 Please. Roll. What'd you roll?
Roll your dice
Yeah,
again.
beat you, right?
What'd you roll?
That's a max strength, I presume.
And on this,
I put that in strength.
10. I rolled a 10. 3 dice.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
3 dice 6.
did you get 15? Did she win twice?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to drink a pint. Drink a drink.
I drink my drink.
Okay.
No, you didn't win.
He's gonna start like totally already
win.
exhausted tomorrow for session 1.
Alright.
What's with the dragon you were showing me, Moriana? As I talk over everybody, this is as Sir Timothy starts like drinking and getting loud and talking over everybody. What was with the dragon?
I made this after there was a dragon who destroyed my hometown. My home forest.
Dragons hurt me as well. But that's another story for another time. Empathy.
Yeah.
You keep that dragon.
Tim, when you start talking about dragons on my table again, Tim has this story. Do not let him talk about dragons, because there's no way he'd be dead if he met a dragon. Okay, he'd be dead.
I'm a dragon. He's
Maybe it was a nice dragon.
making you drinks.
Was it a luck dragon?
Yeah.
Okay, so Moriana, you're still winning at the moment. You're still on the roll at the moment, so pick another person.
It's fun. I've never played dice before.
So pick another person and you roll 3d6, Moriana.
I'm hanging out with Blandina. I'm over here. Trying to like keep bringing her drinks. For more
Cheers.
persuasion. Yeah.
So easy 11.
Let's see if I can. We're going to 6.
Yeah.
2, 4. No. I only got a 10.
Alright, so this is your first win then, Moriana. You're doing well at the moment. So Moriana, roll and pick another person, roll for 3d6. At the moment, if you drink again, you're going to be nearly how much alcohol do you normally drink? Do you drink a lot, or are you a little bit of a lightweight?
No, I never drink.
Right. You'll be getting constitution. You'll be doing a constitution check after your next win. Right. So pick someone.
Oh shoot! Really? Oh
Yeah.
This is going into the next session, by the way. You willfully put yourself into exhaustion. Just
How high can you roll, Dirt? Oh, you may have beat me that time.
dark.
Or is it dark? Is it dark?
Yeah, we're gonna have trouble with this one. It's literally the easiest phonetic. You know what I mean? Like, way. I was like, that's dark. That's
Dark.
yeah. Dark. Yeah.
So I roll?
Yep.
Yep.
11.
Same.
Ooh, and I'm
Roll up again.
hype it from the background. She hasn't lost yet.
She hasn't lost yet. She's gonna lose tomorrow morning.
I'm gonna hand my mace off. I'm gonna hand my mace off to Blandina. I'm like, have you ever seen a mace before? This is a mace. Isn't that kind of cool?
Namaced.
Yeah.
Namaced.
7 for the second go.
Oh, 12.
Oh. And down your next drink.
You're supposed to drink if you win.
Yeah.
Yes.
This is dwarven winning when you win
Got it,
drink,
got it,
because that's
got
what
it.
you want. You're missing the point of dwarfs. They want to drink. See, right. So now, can a Constitution check from you, please, Morana?
That's a big one.
Okay, Morana, you roll your dice, you win, you celebrate, you down your drink. Halfway through drinking it, you sort of go. Right. See that right? That's a forfeit. Dark, you're in charge now, and this you got.
If you're gonna walk up, and I'm gonna lay on hands. I'm gonna lay on hands. One, lay on hand in your back. Yeah. I'm like, I can do that. You're completely cured of poisoning and things like that. Yep, you're back, ready to just. What was it? Estute, when Raiders of the Lost Ark, where she has the Estute. Estute, yeah. Anyways, you're back. You're up.
Dark looks over at Flynn. I guess you're up next against me.
I'm gonna ask Lindina about Corinne. Guys, where they're talking, I'm just like, tell me about a quiz called Corinne, and we discuss.
I'll tell you all about it. I'll tell you all about. Do you want to hear about the War of the Lance?
Oh, there we go. Yeah. Tequisus.
You guys can talk. You guys can talk telepathically about that.
Yeah.
Well, Dark rolls some dice. Go Dark. Go Dark.
17. Overkill.
So Dark, you've won. That's class because you got given a free one because someone passed out. So drink.
Oh dear.
Damn it, you're fine. Take it. Right. Pick the next person. Someone who hasn't had a go yet.
Mariana's back.
Yeah, I know, but she passed out for a second.
Blandina, right? Is that her name?
Blandina hasn't gone yet.
He looks over at Timothy and Blandina talking. Blandina, do you want to try this game?
I've never done this before, but sure, why not?
All right, let's roll.
Spells. Level 5. Yeah, we have to just play it.
11.
That beats a 6.
So we,
Hey, Blandina, you are up. You have to. This is your one win. You win one more, and you get to drink.
so am I still up against Dark?
No, you get to pick somebody. You get to pick whoever it is. This is.
There's a puppy behind Stacks. Hello. Why does he have a flak vest on? What's he doing?
Just ready for combat.
Okay. I'm gonna have to send him patches.
Noinek, have you gone yet?
Yes.
Oh man. Heineken.
Yes.
I wanted to try.
Let's go, Heineken. That's 8.
Oh, careful.
I had 13. Is that good?
You win.
Heineken, you win. Pick somebody else. Pick somebody else, Heineken, then you get to drink.
Oh, we're gonna go with the shiny paladin guy named Mirren.
Dare cross die with me?
You can't smite this one, Mirren. You can't smite this roll, okay?
Yeah, cool. 6.
I have 10.
Yeah,
Well done,
Nick, drink.
Well done.
Drink, Heineken.
I do.
You do that.
Careful, this guy.
Over the next, I'll do this now, over the next sort of 10, 15 minutes, this happens all the way around. Everyone's getting a little bit tipsy, a little bit merry. Does anybody want to stop drinking, or does people just want to carry on and have a bit of fun?
I'm continuing.
So I've got like 5 minutes and I have to leave, so can we like sort of Scooby-Doo?
Yeah, that's what I'm
She just drinks until she face plants and she's just kind of out for the rest of the night.
So over the next hour or so, there's lots of drinking, there's food, there's canapes brought in, which is generally in this case just some bread and cheese. As it's getting late in the evening, Quent turns to Tim and goes, "They're gonna have some sore heads in the morning, and we've got to walk 24 miles."
on hand.
Sober.
I'm like, I'm not even. This is fine. This is a normal Friday for me. I look at every one of you and go, as we said, you know which team you're in, Northgate or Southgate. Tomorrow morning, let's go and find out what these obelisks are. And to be honest, I need to know what an obelisk is. But if anybody knows, let me know. All I know is this black thing. Yeah, no idea. Hopefully, we'll come back in a few weeks and be able to sort of give each other more updates of what's happened. Hopefully, by then, Tiamat will be destroyed once and for all, and Waterdeep will be back to normal. All raise a glass to Stronghold to wish them good luck in their adventure.
The Stronghold.
To Stronghold.
Stronghold.
And as I get up, I have a little bit of a stumble. I'm like, no, I'm fine. All right, see you guys in the morning. And I just sort of
wait. In case I don't see you, Moriana made these bracelets, and I pass out like a wooden bracelet to everybody. I'm a sentimental guy. We might not see each other again. Never know what's gonna happen. Everybody take a look around the room.
I got mine full. Fuck that, probably from the drink, but that's cool. I'll wear it.
It's a snap bracelet. Yeah.
Nice.
But you never know. Snap wood. We just invented that. 5e. She can make 5 inches of snap wood.
And just before we finish, a bit of thing is, next week it is the party that is heading towards Nightstone, which is, just to let you know, guys, it's obviously going to take a little bit of getting used to. It's going to be Tim. It's going to be, well, it's being annoying. Yes, it's going to be Bork, Moriana, Noinek, Pleep, Timothy, and Zora. Just so you know, it's those 6 that are going to Nightstone next week. Then the following week, which is, just to let people know the dates, so people can be aware of it, which is Sunday the 4th, is the rest of us going north to Flandre. So it's just, and what we're then doing is alternating every other week, and I believe that fits into people's childcare requirements and all that sort of stuff, which is also another reason why we're doing this 1 week on, 1 week off. It fits into all our lives. We are all busy adults. We have things to do.
I think Moriana will miss next session, but that'll put her
into the right cycle so that she'll be on.
And on that note, there are going to be times where people drift in and drift out because of work, because of life. We are just going to have them in the party doing stuff. They might not actually be doing interactive stuff, but they'll just be there, just so they know. Otherwise, we're not going to do the whole they disappear for a session, then you've got to suddenly reappear magically. They're just going to be with the party as you go. It's just not worth the hassle. It saves a lot of the hassle. So perfect.
DUI proofing everybody. Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the bottom of your screen.
It does all mean though, if there's a TPK and you all die and you're not here, you still die because you're with the group.
No. Yeah.
Or if, say, somebody kills an Oliphant while you're, gone, then that's...
Yeah. If some paladin decides to kill a really holy creature, that may have repercussions. Yeah.
Whoopsie daisy. He's not here to defend himself right now. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much, guys. And obviously, I'll pass you over to Tim because Tim's the head honcho. So I'll salute.
Yeah, but yep. So Tim stands up. He takes a look at everybody and looks at all the faces because he knows this is probably the last time when all of this, this group, will come back together. 2-3 years from now, when this campaign ends, there's gonna be like 3 or 4 extra people that we don't even know yet. They're probably in. 2 or 3 people have PCS'd or moved or whatever and can't deployed or whatnot. But take a moment just as us, as players, other than a drunken duck or something like this, it's gonna be a long time before we're all in this room together. So I'm really excited for this next chapter and for what's ahead. I'm happy to not be a completely clueless dungeon master again, and I'm looking forward to starting at level 1 and not passing out sun swords to everybody. It makes a bit of a challenge. We are going to partake in, so the June 4th, we'll partake in Icefire Peak ish. That's just going to be our campaign to mix into these things. But I thank everybody for joining up. Thank everybody for your patience. Thanks everybody for the good role play. It'll be a lot more spicy as we move forward, alone and unafraid, up the high road towards Phandalin, and not Sir Tim heading with you guys to Daggerford. But thank you all so much for as long as you played.
I'll say one thing. I'm having the same problem with Tim here. Is which group you're in and which one you're in, and it's like my brain is like I'm going.
Next week it'll sort itself.
Yeah,
this is the only confusing one. Yeah. You roll a 20? Good job, baby.
I got it.
You roll a 20.
Nice. But you roll a 20. That means you've got the hangover from hell, but you actually you can handle it. You don't throw up in the morning.
Yeah.
In fact, sometimes it's that classic thing. Sometimes if you threw up, you'd feel better, but you rolled so good you kept it in.
Yeah. I watched an A10 pilot do that once before, and it's hard to explain. Just straight into a pitcher, then straight back into a second. I was like, you can save my life any day. Well, gangsters. We were built different back then. All right, guys. We'll see you next weekend. Also, I'd like to say for cystic fibrosis, I'm running a campaign. I'm going to be in Old Men Rolling Dice. It's with DM Jeremy, I think it is. If you follow or whatever, on next Saturday, I'll be running a 5th level Sir Tim in their campaign for cystic fibrosis. It's hard for me to say. And then the next day, on Sunday, we'll be heading to Daggerford. But Skylar, got anything?
I don't have anything else for today, but thanks to everybody in the stream or in the chat for hanging out and joining us for campaign 2. I look forward to
around the room. We're good. Yep.
Good times.
Okay. Miss you. Love you. Bye.
See you guys next week.